Inner Island having a crazy day here. Couldn't find a track all morning. It started raining, which it called for. It said it was going to turn to snow, and it just started turning to snow, sleet and snow here. But anyway, we found this great big buck monster. He'd come out in the road chasing around with some does here, and they were feeding on the edge of this road. He's up and down the road, and he's cut in. He's been back and forth, so I don't know. We got to just try to figure it out. It looks like this is the last place he went in, but it might not be. But we got to get some sorting done real quick here, because it's going to fill in and everything's going to be the same. Well, jumped him in like 15 minutes. Got it kind of worked out there by the road. Come up on a knob right by the road, a place you would never think they'd be, but they cut down in on the knob, so I circled and picked it back up and got within, I think they were 20 feet from us when they got up. They were behind a blowdown under a spruce. Buck and the doe were laying together, and I see them go, but I couldn't get a shot. We can't wait a half an hour. It's snowing too hard. We're just going to go easy on it. And he's with the doe, so he might trip up. But we ain't got a lot of time here. It's afternoon. We ain't going to get him. He ran across the road, left the doe, crossed the road, looped around, went back. I thought he went back to look for the doe, and he did kind of a crazy thing. The track was like had nearly an inch of snow in it still, and he stopped, and he must have stood there for well over a half an hour, because he was just standing, not looking on his back track, and then he took off again. We didn't spook him. Went back across the road, and we saw a smaller buck and a doe fresh on this side. I said, oh, maybe that's the doe he was with, but he never got with him. And he's headed south, and the truck is north. It's 3 o'clock. And we're not gaining either. If I thought we were gaining, but he's hurrying. There's somewhere he's got to go. He's walking fast, jumping, walking fast. Track's actually older now than when we first picked it up fresh. So anyway, we'll slog back to the truck, lick our wounds. Tomorrow's another day. Wednesday, day before Thanksgiving. Well, we headed back in. There's some signposts, big signpost area I know of, and we've seen a few tracks along the way, not many, but we got to a place where there were a couple deer feeding on some old man's beard. We had trees are loaded up with snow, and they've been heavy. We got that rain yesterday, and some of them are snapping off now. Looks like some of them snapped yesterday, but deer are finding that old man's beard. So anyway, we just got up here by this first signpost I wanted to check, and we just see a buck had been by just, I don't know, 20 yards below it. Pretty decent one, you know, I call it either or one. And then there's a fir tree blown down with old man's beard here, right? I can see the signpost there, and another buck has come by feeding on this old man's beard. But anyway, that's how I tell you, you check enough signposts on every given morning, and you're bound to find a track. But you just need to get a little bit bigger one here. This one here is about the same. It's nothing we're going to take, but keep at it.
Well, we're in Signpost City here. Got a pretty big signpost here, among a bunch of other ones. This one's bigger, but it actually hasn't been rubbed as long as the other ones. Just jumped a doe here. I think it was a doe anyways.
Yeah, maybe a spike one, but small deer was right 30 yards from this here. About every signpost we've been to, there's deer tracks by it, bucks or does. We just can't find the big one we want. Plenty of deer around. There's so many of them. We've probably passed 2 or 3 of those. I call them either or bucks. You know, they're around 200, but they're not quite older. We're going for broke here. I got to try to find one of them real big ones. We got a pretty good day. Wind. We got some wind coming, but it's a little bit of crunch in the snow from that rain yesterday and ripping out of the trees, I think. That cedar limb over here just blew off last night. They've already pounced right on top of it. They can smell that cedar a long way. Having a sandwich. Still can't cut a big track. We got over in this big old hardwood country there, and there's not much for deer here. There's been a few smaller bucks roamed through, but we're completing our circle now. We're gonna cross the stream here in a minute, up over onto another ridge and swing by a couple more signposts and head down the ridge. Usually there's some does on that other ridge. Might be a big one to come in there. We'll see. What are you eating there, Bob?
Brisket sandwich.
Any good? Brisket sandwich. Yum yum. Sitting here by this spring brook where we got plenty of water. Check with you later. Where'd you go? Oh, we just had a long walk back to the truck. It's 2 o'clock. Never cut a big track. The going's rough up there in the mountain there. The snow's deep and a little crust under it. Anyway, we had fun. Papa's pooped. Maybe we can find one with steam coming out of it on the way back.
Or see one.
We'll see one. Yeah, then it'll be fresh. All right, signing off. Tomorrow's another day. Well, we had, yesterday was Thanksgiving. We started getting snow in the afternoon. Took the day off to rest my legs. I'm having a problem with them, my tendons. But anyway, me and Ryland struck off this morning before daylight to try to cut a track, and it snowed all night. I didn't think it was going to be hard to find a track, and we've seen a couple that had snow in them made early. It didn't snow hard all night, but anyway, we just coming up this road and we cut one of the biggest tracks you can imagine here. I can't believe we're that lucky, and there's no snow in it. It's pretty fresh here, so we're up near the border, so I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't go to Canada or something, but we got to get on him because he's a really nice one. So I'll show you that. We'll get it going. What do you think, Bub? We're going to get him?
I think there's a good chance.
Okay. Beautiful day. It's clearing up. Sun's starting to peak. Look at this here. That's a smashing big track right there. Headed down in to the thick stuff. Everything's thick. It's one of them days we're going to get snow down our neck, but it's alright. Be worth it. jumped him. I thought for sure he got laid down. I thought for sure we just left the road and he fed a little bit on some ferns. And just right there he rubbed on a little stub, but sometimes they do that just before they lay down, but that was too late. That was 20 yards back, but you see, I'll show you where he got tucked in here. No chance. We have no chance. I thought for sure he was dubbing through here. We'd catch him on these skid roads, but we didn't, so it's a little disappointing, but I'm gonna have to give him a half an hour here. Let him settle down. See where he came in here and he laid down. He was just looking back through these limbs here. Back down in there. We didn't have no chance. I don't think he's laying down more than 5-10 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to give you the perspective of this buck where he was laying. That's how smart them things are, them big ones. Crawled under this spruce. Actually laid on that limb. I can see the limb print there. His face was looking there. Can't see. He could see down his back track, but not very far. That's how they get big. But, well, we'll see. We're going to give him our time here, and hopefully he's tired and he don't want to go very far, because this bed is a quarter of a mile from where we get on it, the truck, so anyway, hopefully we can do something with that old boy. Yeah, I was standing here waiting, and I got my Onyx out and realized I knew he had turned kind of like up parallel to the road. We're 100 yards from the road. So he might have heard the truck. Probably did. It's quiet here, and he might have heard the truck. Might have heard us talking when we get out and starting the day off. So I think I was right. I think he might have heard the truck, because he only bounded like 50 yards there, and he just started, kind of fast walking, and he's pretty much kind of slowed down here. So, but he got underneath these trees. I'll show you his print. He's a real nice one.
This buck is gonna slip up.
Well, this crazy buck, I thought looked like he was going to Canada. And I just got done telling Ryland sometimes they go up by the border and they turn. And I don't think we're more than 100 yards exactly what he did. He turned back and he came right in the thickest, it's all bent down with whips in Winter Beach. And he crawled right in, laid down right here. huge bed. Yep. Yep. So I don't know if he's gonna swing into Canada now or not. I'm hoping he'll turn back downhill and not go there, but now we got kind of a game on here, and you might know we're after him now. The first time he just left because of the truck, I'm pretty sure, but he just crawled in like they do. He's going to be a hard one to get if he lays down again. But in retrospect, this was one of the rare times that waiting the half an hour, he did hear the truck, I know, because he never stopped and looked back, and he puttered his way all the way up beautiful open skid roads. If we'd have gone, we'd probably got a look at him or something, but I play the odds. The odds are, everything showed me that we jumped him, but anyway. Now we're just going to go hunt him easy and just see if we can get a look somewhere. If he stays here and inside. But as you can see all around here, it's just thick beaches everywhere. It's not a good place right here. Alright, we'll keep going. Worst fears come true. He's over the border. I had a sinking feeling when he got up that last time he was gonna get it. So anyway, we're gonna walk back to the truck. We haven't crossed another fresh track, 'cause they probably should. He moved, after daylight, but we'll get back, try to find another track. It's only, it's 10:20. Picked the track up at 8:30, and it's going to take us half an hour to get back, probably. So see if we can find another one. I don't know what the odds of finding two fresh big ones are in one day, but we're going to try it. So we'll sign off till then.